no, I need it in 3 minutes. In a restaurant, it is, and that's what I do love that. Yeah. It's like I need it now. And it's, but if you prepare yourself and you're organized, it's just like home and just like at work. They always say organized chef and an organized chef and a planned chef is a clean chef. When you see a chef that's a hot mess, he ain't organized and he ain't and no, it's true. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Yeah. But both are good, both are rewarding in different ways, I guess you can say. One is a push you with these guys or these ladies just pushing, joking around.
Welcome to another episode of the Love Can't Wait show. My name is Sharp Game, so like and share this episode. P.S. by the way, I would appreciate if you would leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. Love it, I hate it. I want to hear what you think. I want to get your feedback. I want you to send me questions about topics that you would like me to talk about on the show. So I appreciate you. So with that being said, today I have a really special guest. My guest today has been together for 19 years. They're here to share their wealth and knowledge and passion for cooking, inspired by their diverse dining experiences around the world and their life adventures. They're going to reveal to you the secrets and to fun and seductive date nights at home that they've been doing throughout their marriage. And their mission is to empower others to bring the vibe in their favorite restaurants right into your own home. They're going to show you how to craft exceptional meals that don't take all night to make and strengthen your relationships, your family, to have meaningful connections and create memorable dining experiences within the comfort of your home. And like my grandmother used to say, a family that eats together stays together, right? But I'm gonna put my own little spin on it. A family that not only do they eat together and stay together, they sleep together. So my special guest is Chef Rafael and Toni Gonzalez. Welcome to the show. So where you guys from?
I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida.
I was born and raised in Manila, Philippines.
Yeah.
But we met in New York City. So it's Miami, Manila, Manhattan. That's our story.
Exactly. Yes.
Nice. That's nice. So how long have y'all been in the cooking? How long have you been a chef? And how did you get started?
I've been in the kitchen for over 25 years. I've been a chef for about, 17, 18 years. How did I get started? I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was younger. I went to a culinary school, fell in love with it, and traveled the world after that.
Oh, that's nice, man. So is it something that's in your family, or are you the only chef, or what?
No, I am the only chef. It was all my aunts and mom that knew how to cook. But I'm Spanish, I'm Cuban. So basically every party starts and end in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But you have to tell the story of he was at a bank that his mom got him into when he was younger. Yeah. And he was just like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I realized if I didn't leave, I'll be there forever. Yeah. So I just...
And then I love the story. You have to tell the story because you saw an infomercial. That's how it started, an infomercial.
I have a single mom, great. She supported everything I did. I came up with some stupid ideas growing up. She still supported me those ideas. So I said, I want to go to culinary school. I said, let's go. We went. I applied, or I got into the school, and I honestly fell in love with it right away. I got a job while I was going to school, and that's when I realized you learn more on the job than at school. And then I just traveled after that. But it's cooking in a restaurant, not at home, is not for everyone. I will say that. But I do like the pressure, the rush that you get. You know, it's a good day or a bad day. You come back the next day. That's what I really liked about it, and it gave me an opportunity to travel, which is also not too bad when you're young. You know, and
it's so true that it's not for everyone. We had a common friend. Her name was Cricket. Not a stripper, by the way. Her name is Cricket.
Yeah.
And she was in the kitchen, right? Yes. And you worked with her.
Yeah.
And you said that she would cry in the kitchen.
Well, the thing is, you know, it's when you tell an 18-year-old person they think they like cooking, but they've never done it before, that you can't have Christmas off, you can't have Thanksgiving off, you can't have New Year's Eve off, and you're working nights, and you have people yelling at you.
She was a little sensitive too, you know. You can't help it.
Yeah, but
she went to culinary school and everything. Yeah. So she left the kitchen and became a sommelier instead. Yeah. So she got into wines. But
it's I enjoy the rush. I enjoy the yelling, this good day or bad day. You come back, and you know, it's not for everyone, but it was for me.
Gotcha. So how is culinary school? Is it kind of like college or
no?
No.
I would say nowadays I see a lot of books on college. Like you can say, if you read these 4 books, you don't need to go to college. Same thing for culinary. You know, it's sad, but you learn more. It's like hands-on. You know, so my recommendation is wherever you live, if it's Charlotte, you go to the best restaurant and say, "This is where I want to work. Pay me minimum wage," and just learn from there.
Gotcha.
You know, and that way you don't owe tuition, and I guarantee you'll get more out of it by hands-on working.
Yeah, because I have a cousin, and that's exactly how he became a chef.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's no point to going to culinary school. Yeah. At least for me.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
No, but tell me the story about how, you know, coming from Miami, all you knew was plantains and beans, right? And then he goes into New York where it's all fancy. And he told me that he didn't speak to anyone for a whole year because he didn't know what these ingredients were.
You don't want to sound stupid. You know what I mean? I was from Miami. I mean, Miami now it's an international city.
Yeah.
Well, 20, 30 years ago, not so much.
Wow.
You know, all you had was plantains, black beans, and rice. You know, and even though you cook, you cook. But then when I moved to New York City, you know, get me the Brussels sprouts. What the hell is that? You know what I mean? Now it's everywhere. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Get me this, get me that. So I said, okay, my way is let me just not talk. And one thing is, when I don't know something, I would always say, how do you want it done? And they would show it to me. So I didn't act like I was stupid. I just said, tell me how you want me to do it, and then I'll do it that way. So, and then after that, it became easy after that.
Yeah, gotcha. So, what made you leave the, I guess, quote corporate, you know, chef route?
Yeah.
And go into the, I guess,
online space.
The online space, as far as relationships, as far as cooking in the kitchen.
Oh, that's
what? Because most chefs, they just look. They work at the restaurant to pay the most money. Hopefully,
yeah, exactly. And I did that for a while.
No, and you still do.
Yeah, I still do that. Like, but this is like a little side thing that we do that's really been really good. But I'll say the one thing that it was a slap on my face. It's COVID was great for us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It wasn't good for everybody.
That's how it started. Yes. He lost a prestigious title.
Yes, and I just thought it was great for me because I was spending more time at home. And I realized I was spending too much time with people that I didn't really care that much about. And everyone that I really cared about was at home, and I rarely spent time with them.
Or cook
for them too. Yeah, I realized that I would cook really nice meals for strangers. And then I wouldn't cook really nice meals for my wife and kids. People that loved me, I wasn't taking care of them. And the ones that didn't love me, I was taking care of them.
You what? So during COVID, where you worked, it shut down?
It shut down. I actually lost my job. Okay. I had no job for 6 months. But at that time we took advantage of it. It's what God gives you. And I started doing online cooking classes. It took off like crazy, mostly because no one was leaving their house.
Yeah.
I realized
that was the advantage.
That was the advantage. Yeah. But it was a reality check when I saw it was 6 months with my wife and kids. We didn't kill each other. It was absolutely wonderful time that we had together that I wish I can get back.
I even brought it up. I asked him, hey, what if we just do this full time? And you did the math, right? Yeah. And he still said, it's not going to pay for all the bills. I have to go back to work. It was still actually corporate.
Yes.
We're doing this on the side because it's been fulfilling too and rewarding.
It's been the most rewarding thing seeing people that have. It's funny how someone can have a more passion for food at home than at work. You know what I mean? And that's what I really enjoyed, talking to women, men, young kids that were really passionate and really wanted an outcome and really wanted to learn. And sometimes you don't always get that in the real world out there. People just want a paycheck. And so that's how it started from us. And I just thought it was, and I made a conscious effort that time that my family or my loved ones will be eating just as good as the ones at work or the guests at work. And so yeah, that was a highlight for me. Is I need to spend more time with the people that need me and care for me than the ones that don't.
I agree 100%.
Because it's so true to say you're going to be replaceable.
Oh yeah. They'll give you after 40. I saw somewhere not for me. I saw it somewhere after 40 years. Someone got a gold watch. You know what I mean? And but again, it's my daughter's. I was gonna say 12. She's actually 14. My son is 12, and they're gonna be out of the house soon. So I want to be able to be with them as much as possible. Coach baseball for my son. Things that I would not entertain 4 or 5 years ago because I thought my job was more important. And and again, it's not true. My wife and my kids are definitely more important. And be with your loved ones is what I'll say probably.
Thanks to COVID.
Yeah. And again, and I can't sing, I can't draw, and a way of me showing my appreciation to them is cooking.
So true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as they're here and we talk and we have a great time, cooking is a lot of fun.
Love it, man. Love it. So what gave you the idea to come online anyway? Because most people, they kind of like, I don't want to go online, man. I don't like how the camera look. I don't like how I look in the camera.
He was like that.
I wanted perfection. If it's not perfection, I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
And I will say she's the mastermind. You know what I mean? She probably got tired of me sitting on the couch looking at ESPN for the first month.
It wasn't that long. No. I just gave him the idea like, hey, in the meantime, because I knew that someone else would pick him up.
Yeah.
I knew that he was always being poached anyway. So let's just give it time. I said, I was already an online educator. I said, why don't you teach cooking? Let's just give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, this guy's not a teacher, but let's just give it a shot. And I was surprised because the reviews were like, this is an amazing instructor. I'm thinking, you?
Yeah.
And we didn't see it coming
because I didn't treat them like kids or like people that don't know anything. You know what I mean? It's it's amazing when you say someone's name. You say good job, bad job, you can do better. It means so much more than just lying to them and saying you're wonderful when maybe they're not. And I didn't dumb things down either. You know what I mean? And I think that's a problem that sometimes people do. For
kids' classes,
anybody's class, I'll make something really easy. I don't want to dumb it down. I don't want to make them look bad. But then I remember my best mentors or my best teachers, they were not all nice to me. But those are the ones that you remember. Those are the ones that you're grateful for. You know what I mean? I got a great job. I love my job at work. And I also love my job that I do at home. And both of them are very rewarding. But for me, it was just do something when I had the chance to do it. And she is right. I had doubts like crazy.
He still doesn't like coming on camera a lot of times.
Once
He's very self-conscious. He doesn't want to watch it. I'll tell him, babe, let's just review this. And he's not looking. I'm like, look at it so we can improve. And he's just the type that doesn't like to come out on camera, doesn't like how he sounds. Me, on the other hand, I'm used to it.
I like. So I have a much better personality outside the camera.
The only way you will improve if you keep doing it.
No, I know.
You are so much better now than when we first started.
There you go.
We would have literally like 20, 30 takes of like 2 lines. Not even kidding.
And then she would tell me, you read like my 4th graders. No, that's really positive.
I teach 4th graders.
That's really positive. But no, man, it's for me, my dream would be cooking and maybe doing some DraftKings and Underdog. That'd be, that's like my, sports and cooking, being with the family. It's just the most important thing there is.
So if you must, every once in a while, you probably meet people and they say, hey man, how do I get started? Or what do you recommend? If you're like a young man, you're in your early, I don't know, maybe you're 19 or in your early 20s, and you want to go after the big money, or you want to cut the learning curve short.
Yeah.
What do you recommend to them?
I recommend basically it's an investment in your future. So if you're going to go to college and spend $100,000 on 4 years, don't chase the money at 19. It's very hard because somebody wants to have a brand new car, somebody wants to make this much money. But it's amazing. If you work at a really, really good place, they might pay you $9, $10 an hour. But 5, 10 years later, you may be making $100,000, $200,000. If you work at the, if you work at the Olive Garden, I apologize. If you work at the Olive Garden, they might pay you 13. But then, when you're 27, they're going to pay you $13.50. And that's what I try to tell people. Don't just chase the money now. Work for someone that you can learn from, that is passionate. But again, also,
you mean someone like a celebrity chef, or someone renowned?
Not necessarily. Someone that takes you under their wing and shows you what life is really about, or cooking is really about. And also something else, 40 hours a week when you're 19 is not enough. What do you do on your days off? Do you cook for your mom? Do you cook for your girlfriend? Do you go out for dinner? Do you read books? Do you get into sites to turn you on? You know what I mean? Because if you just work 40 hours a week at 19, you're not going to get anything out of it. So what do you do on your time off? And it's like in sports, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And that's pretty much the same thing. So hey mom, what do you want for dinner? If mom tells you on your birthday, let me take you out to dinner, don't choose Olive Garden, don't choose Burger King. Choose somewhere, sometimes it's not a money thing. It's pretty much the same price. So go somewhere that you've read about, that interests you, So that's what I recommend for a 19-year-old starting. If you have any doubt, and I'm telling you, you knock on the door of the best restaurant in your city and say, pay me $7 an hour. I want to learn how to cook. No one's going to say no to you. And they're going to take you under their wing and say, well, this kid has, cojones to say, knocked on the door at 19 years old and said, I'm looking to be a chef. It's better to do that than to spend $80,000 in culinary school and be surrounded around people that change their careers at 45 or think that they like cooking because they like making biscuits for their mom. You know what I mean? So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and what I always wondered, how do some chefs get connected to celebrities? How do they work with celebrities like that? I always wondered about that.
That's a freaking great question. I would say for restaurants, I worked at a hotel in the Caribbean, and one of the guests is a big celebrity, and then I guess he made friends with one of the sous chefs, and he became his private chef. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's word of mouth. In Houston, for example, the Houston Texans have, let's say they have one private chef. One player can have one private chef.
Yeah.
Then it can lead to another player, for example.
Okay.
But it is luck. It's probably a demanding job because you're living or you're always at the person's house. Mm-hmm. But you're only cooking for one person instead of 50, 100 strangers. So you do get to know their likes and dislikes a lot quicker.
Gotcha. So what's the difference between, because you kind of mentioned this earlier, what's the difference between cooking at home and cooking at a restaurant?
Cooking at home is, I would say, you're not stressed out. It's fun. It's there is no pressure. There is no timeline. There is no I need it in 3 minutes. In a restaurant, it is, and that's what I do love that. Yeah. It's like I need it now. And it's but if you prepare yourself and you're organized, it's just like home and just like at work. They always say organized chef and an organized chef and a planned chef is a clean chef. When you see a chef that's a hot mess, he ain't organized and he ain't and no, it's true. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's true. But both are good. Both are rewarding in different ways, I guess you can say. One is a push you with these guys or these ladies just pushing, joking around in hot environment. Yeah. You got to make it fun. I will say that in the kitchen, if you're going to be there for 10, 12 hours a day, you can cut yourself, you can burn yourself, you're being yelled at, you're pushed. It's a pressure, but you do got to enjoy yourself. If it's by saying jokes, talking about or playing jokes on each other, which was it's a very common atmosphere, more in the past than it is now. Or even, so you make it good. And same thing at home. I don't like cooking at home when there's no one around me. I don't want them to be having a good time, watching a movie in the second floor and I'm cooking. They all come around and say, even if Toni is just looking at me making a drink, I'm okay with that. How's your day? What's going on? How are the kids? What do you want to do this weekend? I don't want them to be, watching a movie or somewhere else in the house.
Yeah, like you're hired help.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everybody's having a good time, and then I'm just stuck in the kitchen.
But tell us the story, what you guys would do in the kitchen. It's just like insider stuff, because I think it's they're pretty funny.
No, but what I tell people, Gordon Ramsay 20 years ago would not have been considered crazy. Gordon Ramsay now, when he's yelling, they think he's a little crazy. Might sound like that, but I guarantee you he was like that 20 years ago. You just get, but again, that's how you learn. I apologize, but that's how you learn.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that maybe they like the idea of cooking, but they'll say, "Man, I don't like cooking though." How do I make it fun? What do you say to these people?
At the beginning, take your time. Don't bite more than you can chew. Do something a little bit smaller. I think it's go to the grocery store every now and then,
or the farmer's market.
But if you're starting, go to the grocery store. It's a lot easier. Everything you need is there. I hope you have. I can honestly tell someone, independence. If you're married or not, cooking is a great skill, because if you're not married, you can take care of yourself. And if you are married, you can take care of some other people. But it's not that complicated. Don't bite more than you can chew. If you're going to make spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread, buy the garlic bread, buy the spaghetti, and make the sauce.
From scratch.
Scratch, yes. You know what I mean? Pick your battles. I always say Olive Garden or any other restaurant, if you like a certain dish, make that one. Don't try to do something new. Don't try to look into a book or a magazine that looks good. Well, it's okay. But if you like fettuccine alfredo with chicken, do that. And I guarantee you, if you choose the right people, you talk to the right people, it'll be 100 times better than where you just ate it at. Yeah. I mean, nowadays, we have like these Friday date nights. We had one last night. I mean, you can be in a t-shirt, joggers, cooking for the ones you love, and takes you 20 minutes, half an hour. You go to a restaurant, you got to get dressed up. Sometimes you wait. The service can be okay. And you're there for 40 minutes and you spend $120. Stay home, have a drink. You don't need to worry about driving. Have a nice drink, stay home, and it is extremely rewarding. I think
at
people,
the fraction of a cost.
Yes. Yeah. And I think people, they look at the whole recipe and see 500 ingredients and they say, I can't do it. Or one thing that I love is when someone says, short ribs take 8 hours to make. I ain't gonna do that. Well, it's in the oven for 7 hours. You know what I mean? So it does take 8 hours, but you can be doing a podcast, you can be watching a football game, you can be outside. It's in the oven, you know, and it's not that complicated. And the more you do it, like anything else in life, the better you become.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And my wife makes some really bad things when we were married, but guess what? I always ate them because I know who made it. You know what I mean? I said, is it good? It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to complain. Someone's cooking for me. But no, it's and once you get it down, it's extremely satisfying and rewarding. And when you see someone smile or someone say, whoa, you did that, it's really cool.
Yeah. My grandmother used to say, a family that eats together stays together.
Oh, I agree. We say that too.
100%. I mean, so much. I mean, it's like, it's funny. So many things happen on the dinner table.
Yeah.
No matter if it's, you know, wherever it may be. When I was growing up, I'm a single mom, two boys in high school running around and stuff like that. That is the only time for 45 minutes a day that we sat down together and said, what's going on? How's your day? What are you doing? And those are treasure moments that you still want to instill in your children and that next generation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree 100%.
We look forward to it. I mean, when he comes home and he plans something, even the kids are asking, what's dad making tonight? Yeah. And it's kind of like a big affair.
People always tell me, how do I plan meals? It says, I just tell her what she wants. You know what I mean?
Or you ask me.
I ask me, what would you like? And then I plan it based on that. You know what I mean? You do want to give them something that they like, you know? You don't, you know, if I'm making 10 things, 2 things might be something fun and different, but the 8 things, I want to make sure that's something that they like. So it makes it easier for me also.
So what, like when it comes to, you know, because people, a lot of people start talking about date nights. You know, I don't know, you know, but I don't necessarily see it that way, but I understand the concept.
Yeah.
I think the two people just need to make time, you know, and do whatever they feel like doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so what do people ask you for advice on what to do on date nights or whatever as far as food goes?
Most definitely. They always tell us what takes 30 minutes to do, what takes 30 minutes to do and stuff like that. But when we do a date night like yesterday, we've been doing this for 19, 20 years. We've been married 17 years and we've been dating before that. And it just works perfect. It just works for us. But again, it's you know, I almost tell like people, it's not like getting to third base right away. You want to get to first base and second base too. So, you know, you start, what's your menu? You have a little drink, you make a night out of it. It's not just, I don't want people to think of it. It's like a chore. Oh, I got to do this.
Or a big production.
Or a big production, really you know, but I do agree with you. We had a date night yesterday. It's a compromise. I cooked what she wanted to do. And then she watched the movie that I wanted to watch. So it's like a perfect date night. You know what I mean? Make a drink. And we had a drink. So in 3 or 4 hours, we had a great dinner, had a wonderful drink, and watched the movie that I wanted to watch.
And we were just at home barefoot, you know, didn't have to get childcare or pay for valet or anything like that.
But I do agree with you. It is very important to spend time together.
Whatever that may
be. If it's gardening, you know, nothing wrong with that. If it's whatever you want to do, as long as you're doing it together, I think that's by far the most important part.
Yeah, or you carve out that time intentionally to be together. Mm-hmm. Whatever, you know, whatever toots your horn kind of. For us, it's cooking and eating, of course.
Yeah, I agree. You know, so how do you get your kids involved?
Well, they're good because they're not picky eaters. I will say that. That's the hardest part is when I see a lot of kids that are picky eaters. I just eat macaroni and cheese and chicken tenders. But getting them involved is not always like helping with my son. You know, he'll come home from school. He'll make pasta and he's 12. He'll make a grilled cheese sandwich. He'll make, you know, rice and fried eggs and stuff like that.
And that's from, you know, just watching you do it.
Yeah, it's like confidence.
He's been in the kitchen watching you,
Mm-hmm.
and also watching you teach,
Mm-hmm.
and he hears it. So he's got a little bit of an advantage there.
Yeah.
But when we ask them what they want to eat, we bring them with us to the grocery store, so they know that they're part of it too. They're more likely to eat it if they know what's in there.
And again, they help us out by grabbing something for me, getting something for me, cutting something that I know is not going to cut their fingers for me. Pick this for me. Go get me some basil outside. Go get me the jalapeno in the fridge. Set the table, do the dishes, stuff like that makes them part of it also. Because if you don't make it fun for them while you're prepping and doing and playing dinner, they don't want to be there the next day. Or
what you like to always do is he would have snacks like appetizers while he's making the main dish. So we're all gathered around the kitchen counter while he's doing the majority of the cooking part.
But there's always a snack there. It's funny, the chefs have this big problem. There's always snacks. By the time you actually have dinner, you're full already. That's what it is. That's what it is. But again, the kids have snacks. The kids have this, whatever they like to drink. I'm gonna get a fancy glass and put some apple juice or whatever may be in it. But again, I don't treat them like kids. It's funny, they eat very well, so they get insulted when they go to a restaurant and they get a kids menu. So again, just make them feel like they're part of the process and part of the whole plan.
Gotcha, man. So, you're online. You got the videos going. You're crushing it on social media. So you got courses. So where do you go from here? I mean, at this point, where do you see things going in the near future?
Well, hopefully, the dream is to retire him, retire. And we'd just be doing this from home. The goal is just really to spend more time with family.
Yeah. And that I can do this no matter where. Mm-hmm. We can be in Charlotte, New York, Alaska, and it doesn't matter where you are. As long as we're together, and it's a connection. Food is a connection for us. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that is our connection is food. And who doesn't like to eat? Who doesn't like to have something great? Who doesn't wish they knew how to do it? You know what I mean? How can you do it? Well, that's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? I want to take away all those things that make it look too difficult or too complicated, because it's really not. Restaurant food is not complicated. It's not hard. It seems hard because maybe of the way they make it look pretty, but again, that's what I'm here for. Any questions, any issues, or anything like that, ask me. We've been asked so many questions.
And the students really, when they make it, they realize what? That's all it took? And then they're hooked. Yeah. They're hooked for the next one because they realized they could do it. And this was like a 5-star meal.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's memories that you can create. That's what we're looking for. But again, I want people to realize it's not that complicated. It's not because I do it for a long time. If you set time aside for your loved ones or just for yourself, self-love, what I mean? Make something for, that you can. Cooking, you'll always learn something new every single day if you want to. And having that skill, you don't need anybody else. You don't need your grandmother, my mom, anybody, a wife to take care of you. And I think that's what's really good about cooking. I don't expect someone to take care of me. I can take care of myself, but I will take care of them at the same time.
Gotcha. So this is the last question. In a perfect world, who's your perfect client?
You want to answer that first or me?
You
okay.
Should. It's
my perfect client is someone that knows they're doing something wrong, knows that there should be a change, and they want to see a change. They realize that it's not just the cooking side of it, it is the family time. They are cooking for the most important people in their lives, and at the same time they're teaching them something that they can pass on to future generations or stuff like that. I see people every single day that always did it by themselves, And now the husband's involved, the wife's involved, the kids are involved. They cook so much and they invite the neighbors over. And that's what I want people to realize. It's not just cooking. It's time together. It's memories. It's experiences. You know, when you go to a great restaurant, I don't want you to tell me the food was great. I want you to tell me the service was great. The food is great. The experience was great. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to recreate. It's not just good food. It's a good experience.
Yeah.
You know, I can help in the food side. She can help in so many other sides also. But again, we want to create an experience, or I want to create an experience.
Oh, just you?
No, I'm just saying it was for me. You know what I mean? But again, that's what I'm thinking is it's an experience. It's cooking comes together. Cooking has brought everyone closer together. You know, who likes to eat more than Spanish people? Filipinos do. You know what I mean? They eat everything. You know,
so many nationalities are like that. It's just all centered around food. So
yeah.
And I would never been able to marry this woman if she did not like anything. And I thank God every day she's not a vegan or a vegetarian.
He always said,
because I would be divorced.
He always said
16 years ago.
He always said, I would rather marry a smoker than a vegan.
It's no question.
Would not work for him.
No question. If there's people always ask me, there's one thing I can change about her is I wish she liked spicy foods. That's the only thing I would change. But again, she loves it too. You know, the only thing that I dislike about her is that she eats as much as I do, and she keeps it at 112 pounds. But again, it's just us finding, you know, it's our connection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Bringing the family together.
Yeah.
Food.
Yes.
Gotcha. So if people wanted to follow you online and work with you, where would they go to?
You can go to chefrafaelgonzalez.com/date night, where they can actually get into our free limited video series where they can learn how to execute their own date night at home, and it's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's hard, it'll be rewarding at the end.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is with Raf is that you can always ask him questions. He's not going to bounce on you. If you send him an email, he's going to respond to it. If you need help, he's going to get on with that. He loves questions. You always say that in our live Q&As for our students.
Yes.
I love the questions. Bring it on. He gets excited and fired up for that.
At work, I always tell everybody, I love questions, but don't ask me the same question every day. That's the one thing I'll say. Don't ask me some question every day, but